everyone, how you doing? Welcome back to another episode of Channel Control. I am Rob, and I'm in charge of a lot of this stuff here. And here's Matt.
Hey, it's me. I talk louder than Rob. I am Matt, aka Quad C. I think we're gonna do that. Should we do that?
Don't be throwing up gang signs on this show.
Quad. Oh god, that turned into like a vagina. Quad C. I think. Anyway, hey, it's me. You can find me on.
No Crips of Bloods outside my door. Where that white boy at?
West Side. You can find me on all social media at Move the Joystick. Guys, that's the guy that's not joining us in studio or hasn't in a while, but you'll see him a little bit later on.
Hopefully, if he sends that video.
Well, he said that he created something that was really cool and found something really cool. So there's that. You can find him on all social media at RealJackassBC, RealJackassBC, and that's right. I say it better than he does sometimes.
Sometimes.
I mean, like if you watched Gifted Talkers, the show that we do about the gifted, he this was his first show back, and he was like, he took a second. He's like, you find me on all social media, RealJackassBC. Like he almost forgot because he was in London for so long. They forgot how to say his own.
Yeah, I have the same problem. Also, I keep the she found Channel Control at on Twitter on Channel Control is every time.
Really?
Always do it.
It's at Channel Control. It's not hard.
Yeah, but then there's Channel Control TV.
Yes.
On YouTube.
Yes.
And Instagram.
Yes.
And there you go.
You should have just made the Twitter handle Channel Control TV, and that makes the whole thing easier.
I was, but it's too long.
Oh, is it more than 15?
Yeah. Channel Control is like,
I didn't count that.
That's it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So,
yeah. Well, there you go. Can't do anything about that. But today we're talking all about television. It's what we do every single time we're on this show, and I'm so excited because
every goddamn week.
What's so great is that like I watch so much more television just so that way I can be prepared for this show. And we never talk about the shows that I watch.
Not the shows that, well, when I ask, hey, what do you want to talk about? No one says anything, so I make the list.
You have not asked that question.
I make the list.
In like a year.
I've always said, if there's anything you want to talk about, let me know.
Did I throw something out? Did I throw something out this week?
Yes, you did.
I sure did.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I did.
And we're going to talk about it?
Yes, we are.
No, we're not.
What?
The first bit of news we have coming up there are a bunch of shows that are coming to the CW.
Oh my god. Just marry the CW already. It should just be called CW Control.
I don't even know how many Berlanti's behind, but I know there's at least two of them.
So many Berlanti's.
Okay, so first we have two spin-offs. One from Riverdale called Katie Keene.
Alright, who is Katie Keene?
It's supposed to be a fashionista character from the Archie universe who's in New York City, and I honestly don't know the character.
Have we even seen her?
I've heard the name before. They've probably shown her. This is which is why they're doing the whole spinoff.
Yeah, but like if they've shown her and she wasn't like a big character that we cared about, why should we care to watch this show?
I honestly do not know.
Okay. Well,
like I could understand them doing a spinoff of Sabrina.
Sure.
Sabrina really wasn't a major part of the Archie universe, but she was a huge character.
Well, they did. They're obviously doing a Sabrina show, and that makes sense. But it's on Netflix, and it's a whole different thing. But it just seems weird to me that we're gonna go and do a spinoff of a character that we're not really that familiar with, and it's gonna be a complete departure from Riverdale because it's in New York City, and this girl's a fashionista. It's almost like Berlanti's a bit stretching his reach a bit. I don't agree with that one.
Okay, so here's a little bit about it. The lives and loves of four iconic Archie comic book characters, including fashion legend-to-be Katie Keene. As they chase their 20-something dreams in New York City, this musical dramedy chronicles the origin and strugglings of four aspiring artists trying to make it on Broadway.
I totally understand what this is now. I totally get it. It's the CW is like, all right, so Crazy Ex-Girlfriend's gone. We don't have any more musicals. Berlanti, make us a musical. And he's just like, I got it. Here's what we're going to do.
And he's like, okay.
Let's just pluck these four, put them here in New York, give them their own show, and they're on Broadway. And it's a musical, and it's about their fight to make it to the top. So it's going to be extremely extremely improbable because any 20-something-year-old that move out to New York should all be living on top of each other inside a tiny little like dorm room style apartment that they're spending $2,000 a month on. And we all know that what it's going to be like is that there's going to be like two of them at least that are living in this like high-rise apartment that's all spacious and roomy, and it's just like my dad pays for it. And so they gotta be like that.
So yeah, that's what we're gonna have. I mean, I didn't know it was a musical. It was gonna be a musical until I saw that part, and I'm like, I'm not watching it.
Really?
Yeah.
I
wasn't into Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Yeah.
And like we mentioned this last week, and
that's a spin-off. It's a spoof of like musicals. That's what I like about Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's a little bit repetitive, little for me, but it's all right. This show, I don't know. Like, I think the angst for me and the whole big city, bright lights, New York City is probably what's going to bother me the most about it, just because I feel like I've seen that. Like, I think I need more. Like,
yeah, I mean, well, for me, even after binging through the first, what was it, 2 seasons of Archie?
Yeah. Or Riverdale.
Of Riverdale. Even this 3rd season, I watched a couple episodes. I'm like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll probably binge it later, but
like,
so
if you tell me
that, I'm really not going to be into this Katie Keene one.
Like in the first episode, if like let's say one of the Broadway people is like best friends with Katie Keene and they like go out to this Broadway audition. It's late at night, and then suddenly like they didn't get the part, but they're going in the alley, and that Broadway director, that famous one, tries to assault them, and ultimately that Broadway actor kills the director, and then they call Katie Keene, and like they use like Katie Keene's fashionista robes or whatever to like hide the body and like put it in the Hudson River. I'm in. I'm interested now.
It's too much. We're gonna move on to the next show, which is coming up. And that is Jane the Novella. Now, if you've watched Jane the Virgin,
yes,
you know she's a writer. And the whole thing was becoming a writer for TV series, books, whatever.
Yeah.
And this series is going to be based on books written by Jane.
Okay.
So it's a Jane the Virgin spinoff, but it's going to be whatever stories she wrote as books, that season is going to be her book.
I like that. Like, I think this is a really cool idea.
It's going to be a whole an anthology thing. So every season will be different.
I like that. That's really awesome because a lot of times, whenever we have these characters that we like so much, we see them in any like creative outlet that they have. More often than not, we don't actually get to see that in motion or see that in play. Or if we do, it's like very minor. So the fact that there's an entire show that's going to be made based off of these stories, I think is just really cool.
Yeah, I honestly like the idea also.
Yeah.
Whether I will watch it or not, Jane the Virgin, I loved the first season.
Yeah.
By the second season, it was just a bit much. Plus, there were other things coming on. And I was like, I'm not really going to invest the time anymore.
Right.
So.
Well, it's I think this is going to be cool because I think for a lot of writers, this is a like a television playground for them. Because now they get to explore these stories that maybe they were really passionate about whenever they were writing it for the motivation for Jane to write them.
Yeah.
So this is going to be cool for them to actually have that.
The other thing also is that Jane the Virgin did pull in a huge Latino audience when it first came out. And American TV has been trying to find a way to get the novella-style stories on TV.
It has.
And this one is a perfect way to get it in there. It's a great introduction. And you will still have that Latino audience, plus you have your regular all-American audience or your CW audience who is going to be into it.
I agree with that.
So,
because, I mean, you look at what NBC did, like, I guess a year or two ago with that telenovela show. That was just a bomb. It was bad.
I still watched it though.
I watched like 2 episodes and I was like, this is terrible.
That's the one that Eva
Longoria
did, yeah.
Yeah. So it was just really. I think this is cool because with the CW, I think they've got that key to unlock that audience because they did have that success with Jane the Virgin. You're gonna have those fans come back for Jane the Novella, and so that'll be really fascinating watching.
Yeah. Okay. Next one up is an untitled Nancy Drew project.
Nancy Drew?
So basically we're having Nancy Drew, female mystery solver, whatever, come back to TV.
I got it. I know what's going to happen in this show.
What's going to happen?
All right. So there's going to be 4 friends that like are in New York trying to make it in Broadway. One's going to be a fashionista. One's going to be going to a late night Broadway audition. Ultimately, they're going to go into the back alley. The director is going to assault the guy that was auditioning, and then they're going to kill him. They're going to call their friend that's the fashionista, wrap him up in like the cloth, throw him into the Hudson River, and Nancy Drew is going to be the detective that solves the whole problem.
Boom! Show done.
Woo!
Thanks for watching.
I got it. I know where you're headed, Berlanti. I got you. Is this Berlanti?
Set in the summer after her high school graduation, 18-year-old Nancy Drew thought she'd be leaving her hometown for college, but when a family tragedy holds her back another year, she finds herself embroiled in a ghostly murder investigation, and along the way, uncovers secrets that run deeper than she ever imagined.
Okay.
Well, it is a ghostly murder.
That's cool.
So,
they say ghosty murder. It makes me feel like it's like Scooby-Doo in a way. Because it's ultimately not going to be.
The Hardy Boys Nancy Drew stuff was kind of that
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo-ish thing.
Just not as cartoonish.
Yeah, not as cartoony, yeah. So they saw things like the whispering watchtowers, come crap like that. And
Yeah.
it was like, yeah, okay, I mean...
It's a cool idea. Nobody's really
I watched
doing
it
Nancy
before.
Drew.
I mean, the show was on TV years ago with
Yeah.
that, but was it? Oh, what's the girl's name? I think it's Pamela Sue Martin. Is her name? This was like late 70s, early 80s.
Oh,
whatever
I
she
was
came
not
out with.
alive then.
Yeah, and the Hardy Boys that started then was Parker Stevenson and Sean Cassidy.
Ah, I see. Okay.
So yeah, so they had those shows, and now this one's coming back. I knew I heard about the Hardy Boys coming back as a TV series, but I guess it never came true. I'll watch the first episode. I'll see what it's like. I don't think I'll be a religious watcher. I'm pretty sure Karen will watch this show.
Probably. And it'll be an interesting thing to see how it grips you, if it's going to be a continuous storyline or if it is going to be that Nancy Drew style where like each episode is like a different book.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, I would, I guess for the first season, maybe, we have this overall, storyline that they're trying to solve. But meanwhile, in between all that, she's solving like all these other murders or something that's going on.
I don't think that's the way to go.
No.
They should do it like one season is a book. So that entire, like, what is it, 20-something episode run?
Sure.
That's going to be your whole book right there.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And the reason I didn't say that is because I'm thinking, I guess for the first season, you have to establish that Nancy Drew's good at her job. She's a great detective. So how are you going to do that? Well, she's got to solve something,
And it's only going to be 13 episodes at the first season.
Okay, all right.
So.
Yeah, so maybe in between there she can. Maybe the first episode she solves a major crime or something, but then something bigger happens, like, I don't know, some ghost kills her parents, I don't know. And then she goes the rest of, like, the whole series, or the whole season trying to, like,
I honestly think they're going to do the same way they did with Riverdale, where
yeah.
the actual mystery of what happened to Cheryl's brother was kind of like the background story.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And it was more like,
yeah.
let's get to know these characters and how screwed up they are.
Oh
and
my
all
god.
that stuff.
Yeah. I swear, half of those characters are so irrelevant.
Riverdale, that the whole town should be in a freaking asylum.
No kidding, man.
God
Seriously.
damn. And
Archie's the worst, too.
the worst.
The worst. Yeah.
Let me see. Okay, so we come to the final show. Do we? Yeah, the final show of this whole thing.
Gilmore Girls.
Which is the one that I really wanted to get to.
Gilmore Guys.
No.
It's a spinoff.
Welcome to sunny seaside Santa Carla, home to a beautiful boardwalk, all the cotton candy you can eat, and a secret underworld of vampires. They are finally making a Lost Boys TV series. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, I am so in for this. Now, I know you said, you were in for Dynasty also, and look what happened there. Yeah, because Dynasty was horrible.
The Lost Boys could be horrible, too.
I hope it's
Dynasty was announced, and you were like, this is going to be the greatest show ever. The Dynasty comes out, and he's just like, Dynasty's out. 2 episodes in, I don't give a shit about Dynasty. Dynasty sucks.
Yeah, it was 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I think it was like the first episode. I was like, Okay, you got one more chance.
This is gonna be cool. I mean, I say that. I mean, it's vampires.
Yeah.
You know, and CW, we know that whenever they do a show that has a little bit more of that supernatural effect to it, and no pun intended, the show tends to do a bit better than I guess their other shows would. Like, I mean, what were the, like? I guess the whole army show that they had, like
Valor.
Valor. They had Dixie or something like that. Like, yeah, like those shows, like, man, nobody really cared, you know. So
but once you throw in vampires,
I think that's whenever people
you've got a whole audience right there. I mean, look at
and look what CW has done with vampires, and I think that's why that they're going to reboot the Lost Boys is because of the fact that they had the Vampire Diaries. And could you not hear me this whole time?
No, I just looked at it and I saw it was like
sitting
down a little bit.
Oh, okay, cool. Anyway, so but yeah, like CW, what they did with the Vampire Diaries, it was really well done. Mm-hmm. This is going to be, I think, a bit more hardcore than Vampire Diaries was because it is the Lost Boys.
Yeah.
And we all know what it was like back whenever Kiefer and the Coreys and stuff like that were out there. So this is gonna be interesting. I just wonder how is it gonna work, and if they're gonna pull like a Riverdale and bring in somebody like an older actor that was from the original series to be part of it. Like, I'm wondering, could they pull in a Kiefer Sutherland? Could they pull in was it Jason Patrick? Is that right?
Yeah,
Jason Patrick. Could they pull any of those guys in to do this?
I don't know if they would pull him in to do it. I don't think Kiefer Sutherland is going to want to play like the head vampire for a season, or he may. I don't know.
I mean, you back up the money truck. I mean, yeah, he'll do whatever.
Since the Lost Boys, I know Corey Feldman's going to want to have a partner.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, because doing something or another.
He was like, "Look, I'll be the one that runs the comic store and just sit there sleeping."
Oh yeah,
but you need to put me in this.
Honestly, like, I feel like out of all three, I feel like Corey Feldman might be the cheapest. So CW could probably get that done pretty quick. Mm-hmm. Yeah. My question though, I guess what I'd be curious about is if they did bring Corey Feldman in, if like the entire time he'd be like, "Well, in the original Lost Boys, this is what we did," and the director's like, "Shut up, Corey. Just go hang out in the comic book shop and sleep, okay, man?"
Don't ruffle feathers. You'll be out in your ass. Now, okay, we know that the Lost Boys, they had that one movie that was a hit. That was the biggest thing. I watched the movie.
That was the first one, wasn't it?
Yeah,
the
first Lost Boys.
Yeah.
I think I watched that every day for a year and a half to 2 years.
Yeah.
You already know this whole story.
I do.
The Thirst in the Tribe that came out after, oh, God, so bad.
Not good. No.
The only good thing about it was that you saw that Sam was a vampire at the end of The Thirst, but then Corey Haim died, so they couldn't do the story they wanted to do with the tribe, where it would have been a group of vampires under Sam.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that they couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But this story, you could theoretically go down that road.
Now, the thing that they're doing here is they're almost mimicking the first story, where it's a mother who lost her husband. It wasn't divorced, but her husband passed away.
Right. And
she moves with her 2 sons to Santa Clara to start all over. And, suddenly, boom, vampires.
Yeah.
So, is it going to be good? I hope to God it is.
Yeah.
I hope they don't screw this up. I mean, it's a CW vampire show.
I think they're going to do fine with it, honestly. I really do.
They should do good with it. I mean, and they're going to be pretty.
Oh,
everybody.
100%.
All of them.
Yeah. Even like the frumpy dude is like, is pretty.
Yeah. I want him to be my dad.
Yeah. Well, I think out of, I guess, all 4 CW shows, I think the only one I just have no faith in would be the Kathy Keene one. I don't. Like, it makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Seems kind of random.
It sounds like kind of a Gossip Girl
type
of thing, which I was like...
And I think Gossip Girl was kind of one of a kind. Mm-hmm. So I don't think you could really redo that. And I know CW, they kind of like to play to their strengths and go back to what worked in the past. And I don't know, Berlanti's great and all. And if I'm not mistaken, he hasn't had a show canceled yet. But
no, he has.
He has? Which one?
Yeah, there was one on NBC with... Oh,
was it Powers?
No. It was a detective show with the girl from Will and Grace. with Deborah Messing.
Oh no! I'm talking about like the superhero style. shows.
Superhero style shows. Yeah. No, the only one that was canceled was Supergirl, but they just got it moved.
Right. Like what I'm thinking, I'm talking like since Berlanti hit his stride. Since I'm saying like since Arrow.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't really had anything canceled.
No.
So I feel like it probably will last for a few seasons, but honestly, I feel like if any one of these is going to get canceled, I think Kathy Keene might get canceled first.
I mean, not only did Berlanti not have a series canceled, he pulled a character from a canceled series into his universe.
Sure did.
So,
did.
The man knows what he's doing.
Yeah. And eventually a show is going to have to get canceled, regardless of, or I should say, whether it is of their own volition, like as in the show ends, or if ratings just aren't there. And I don't know, like, where is the drama in this Kathy Keene show? Like, I can see it for Jane the Novella. Cool, got it. That's a very interesting idea. You already have the fandom behind that.
The whole premise behind it is drama.
Right.
Yeah.
The next show, what was the other one we were talking about? Not Jane the Novella, not Kathy Keene. What was the next one? Oh, Nancy Drew. Yeah, Nancy Drew's interesting because that's just a familiar name. So I feel like a lot of people will be interested in like seeing what it's like at first, But then the last one, Lost Boys. I mean, Lost Boys is a huge following, and you're telling me you're gonna redo it, and then CW has a great track record with vampires. Yeah, I feel like this is all gonna be good. I mean,
just some of my friends that I have from back in New York City who we were all freaking Lost Boys kids when we were growing up.
You dressed like one of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, we still mention Lost Boys every now and then.
Right.
At least 2 times a year, someone in that group mentioned the Lost Boys.
Yeah.
So not as a TV series.
Sure, yeah, that's gonna be great. And I feel like it might be like a Teen Wolf situation where like the movie and the TV show don't like mesh as well. Just because there's more story you have to tell in television series and teens and pretty people and angst. So I think, you'll have to have your expectations a little bit tempered at first, but I think it's ultimately going to be a good show. It's just, there are a lot that I feel like maybe we shouldn't be too excited about yet, or at least maybe just take that wait and see approach. Like, I need a trailer for me to let me know whether or not all these shows are going to be good, especially that Kathy Keene show. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so staying on the whole supernatural thing, there's another show. This is separate of the whole CW thing.
Thank God. Let's move on. There are other channels.
Yeah, there are other channels. I don't know where this one's supposed to end up, but they are looking at doing a Resident Evil TV series.
That's fascinating. That's really cool.
And that's Netflix.
Netflix is doing that?
I believe it is Netflix that will be doing that.
So, now, it's going to be live action, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in for this.
So
it's gonna be cool.
Now, all we know is that they're currently, they said, let's do Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Find us a showrunner. That's it.
Okay.
That's all we have right
now.
So
we don't have anything then.
Yeah.
We just have the idea.
It's like there's an idea for a Resident Evil TV series. Well, now, speculation what they're going to do. I hope they follow the video game series closer than they do the movie.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, not the movie. No, they shouldn't follow the movie
very
at all.
first Resident Evil movie was great. Like I liked it because the movie ends kind of like where the game starts. She comes out and Raccoon City is just zombie infested.
Yeah.
But then the movies kept going on.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. See, well, for me, I love the Resident Evil show, or not show, but the Resident Evil games, just because they were so chilling. You turn it on, you turn off all the lights, and you just experience it all, and you get scared like crazy. Like for me, I remember one of my first, my first like scary video game memory would be Resident Evil 1, and it would be whenever my brother and we turned off all the lights and we were playing it on the original like PlayStation 1. We were just like walking around, and we're if I'm not mistaken, we were Chris Redfield, and we were walking around that mansion, and we were going through, and then suddenly like dogs are chasing us, and we're like, holy crap, oh my god. But like it wasn't even that, like that wasn't even like the scariest part. The scariest part was whenever you walk in, you take a left, you walk over, you see your partner, and you're like, oh man, all this blood everywhere. was like, oh, this is interesting. And the other thing is, like, you can't control the camera at all because it's all still and fixed camera, like, angles. So you walk in, it's like, oh, okay. All right, let's go into this store. You go into this store, and it's like, oh, wow, this is really a creepy alley. Which, by the way, this game made me never want to own a mansion. And then you take a left, and then all of a sudden, it was the creepiest, scariest thing I've ever seen when I was, like, 10 years old. Like, with this zombie just, like, eating this guy. Yeah. And then he gets up, and he's just like, and you're like, and then it gets up and it just like goes after you all slow and stuff. Now that I'm adult and I've seen some stuff, I'm like, what was that? Like, why was I scared about that? That was stupid. Like, I went back and I wrote like this article about like the scariest video game characters I've ever like faced in my life, and like that one was probably number one. But like I went back and I watched it and I was like, oh man, why was I scared of that?
This is ridiculous.
It just like it looks so bad. Like the graphics look so bad back then. Nowadays, like the remake that they did of Resident Evil looks incredible, and I'm like, oh god, okay. If I played that, I feel like I probably never would have slept again in my life. But you know, it was such a terrifying experience. So it would be interesting if they followed that storyline. I think that would be cool. But I know a lot of people probably would want to see Leon Kennedy. Maybe that would be like a season 2 situation. Maybe you start and you follow Chris Redfield and maybe his sister or whatever. I don't know how you really want to do it, but I think that would be the route I went, would be just to follow the first Resident Evil game. And then, you know, second season, maybe you could do Resident Evil 2. I think that would be cool if maybe every season is a different Resident Evil.
And you know, there's also the Resident Evil animated movies, the CGI movies they have out there, which kind of gets away from the video game series pretty much altogether.
Yeah.
They really don't follow the video game series.
They really don't.
They are good movies.
They are. I just think for me, though, like...
You want something familiar.
I would like it familiar. I mean, if you're going to do a Resident Evil story, a Resident Evil show, like, let's do it, you know? Let's follow the original source material, you know?
Let's start with just creeping through a freaking mansion trying to figure out what the hell's going on for that season.
And at the same time, like, just think about it like if it would be like an American Horror Story for Netflix. You know, I know that they're going to kind of do that a little bit with the Haunting series, but even that, you're still following the same kind of vein.
Yeah.
If you do like a Resident Evil or a Resident Evil style American Horror Story, that's fascinating because you can literally do every single season is a different game. And that would be really cool to see. And then, like, ultimately...
You got what? You got, what, 7?
Yeah, more than that. You got more than that, yeah. And you can start off with Chris Redfield, and then you can move on to Leon, and then the next one you can have, like... I can't remember who's in 3. I want to say it's Chris Redfield again. By the time you get to Resident Evil 4, that's going to be freaking mind-blowing, because Resident Evil 4 is, I think, the best Resident Evil game. Was
that the Village one?
Yeah. Awesome.
That was where I was like, I'm out. I'm done with Resident Evil.
It was so good. That was such a good one.
Like I'll sit there and watch someone play it, but playing the game, I'm like, I just hated it. I did not like it at all.
Well, by that time, they had taken a real strange departure from the whole series because it was no longer, it wasn't as much about zombies anymore as it was like these parasites that are controlling people and blah, 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 and all this other crazy ass stuff that they decided to throw into this village. But it was still a really cool game. So I think it would be a cool series. I think that like if it's Netflix, like they could pull off like doing a complete adaptation of the video games. And I think they could do it well in 10 episodes. If it's 10 episodes of an hour long each one, bro, we can cover a lot of ground.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool.
I don't know if they would do 10. They probably go for 13. That seems to be their number.
Well, for Netflix, they had a mandate a while ago that was like they want 10 episodes.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Okay, I never heard that one.
Yeah, they wanted 10 episodes because I think they looked at the like the quality of shows from like HBO, BBC, and those sort of things, and they are only 10 episodes.
Yeah.
And I think for them, it's also cheaper to produce 10 episodes than it would be 13.
And very little filler.
Yeah, very little filler. I think the only reason you're thinking it might be 13 is because of Marvel. Mm-hmm. Marvel, they said, screw that. We're not doing 10 episodes. We're going to do 13. So that's what they filmed for. And I think Netflix was like, okay, whatever. We're going to be canceling y'all soon, so let's just go with it.
Did you watch the series You? Was that 10 or 13 episodes?
I haven't watched it.
Okay. I know I went through, but I can't remember the number. But
I can find it. I can find it real quick. Let's look through my Netflix app. Gonna pull this up. This might get edited.
Yeah, so 10 episodes a season. 10 episodes of Resident Evil. I guess you can tell a good enough story if you have an hour-long episode, 10 hours.
I am sorry. I did not mean for this to go off.
Okay, that's fine.
Sorry.
But 10 hours of a
You was 10
series?
episodes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess they can pull it off.
I think they could.
Well, I'm pretty sure because, like you said, I mean, for HBO is Showtime. Everyone else does it.
Yes.
So why can't they?
Yeah, I mean, the only show, since they pulled off this memorandum, the only show that went more than 10 episodes was Marvel. And I think any 30-minute episodes or 30-minute shows, I think those kind of went a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. But it makes sense to do 10 episodes rather than anything more than that. As much as it sucks for like a viewer who's like, man, I want more, it makes sense just because, like you said, less filler. We kind of get to the point a little bit faster. And the studios have a little bit more pressure to have better, like the best high quality episodes from show to show, because if you have 10 episodes, you can't really have a bad day. So every episode should be really freaking good, You go back to like the CW shows, and one of our biggest complaints is the fact that they're too long.
Yeah.
So it's 10 episodes. I feel like really is perfect. And I think if you had asked us that probably about 5 years ago, we would have said, no, man, you can't do 10 episodes. It's stupid. But we've seen that like shows are better, honestly, if it's just 10 episodes, because we're getting to the point a lot quicker.
Yeah. All right. So what are you going to be looking forward to for all these TV shows?
I'm currently now looking forward to Resident Evil if they pull off this.
For me, it's Resident Evil and Lost Boys. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt about it. The other shows I'll check out, but Katie Keene, I know that I'm.
And I feel like
the crowd that follows Chris's girlfriend, they're gonna jump onto that show.
Yeah, I feel like we're hard on Kathy Keene, really.
Yeah, because we don't know the character.
Yeah, it just seems odd. Like, I think that's the whole thing. It seems odd to do this. And at the same time, we've seen it before. So what I need to see is how are you going to make it different? How are you going to make this different that makes me want to watch it? Why do we want to rehash the same old stuff over and over again?
Mm-hmm. All right.
Bright lights, big city, New York. Oh, I'm going to make it. No, I'm going to be a Broadway star. Never mind, you suck. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Did you see what Jason did the other day? Oh, my God. I can't believe he's out with Tess.
That is a series, right?
I know.
Fucking
I know.
Okay.
Like, I'm pretty sure I just wrote Kathy Keene right there.
There's a show that you wanted to talk about this weekend. You brought it up, and
I'm so pumped.
And I'm so open to everyone's ideas.
We're gonna save it for the last.
A show I have not watched,
but
I need to.
Really?
I looked at the first season. It's like 13 episodes.
I
guess they're all 13. So
they're short. They're short.
Yes.
I don't know if they're all 13. I don't know because this is like season 4, and Sci-Fi. I'm not quite sure if they have that same policy with all that.
Okay.
But I know it's short. They're all very short episodes.
Well, if you don't know, the show we're talking about is The Magicians.
That's right. The Magicians just had their their season premiere this past Wednesday, and oh boy, it's good. But what the big news around this is that before season 4 actually even premiered, Sci-Fi went out and was like, season 5 is greenlit already, which just shows how much faith and how good this show is. The Magicians is, I think, Sci-Fi's best show that they have on. And it's one of those shows that I wait for like all year.
Really?
It's so freaking good. And it follows the life of, obviously you can probably think about, figure it out. It follows the life of these magicians who, in everyday life, magic is real. Magic is a thing. There are people that use it. There's some that can, some that can't. And there's a school called Breakbills that actually, they harness and they try to like grow people's powers so that way they can become.
It's basically Hogwarts.
Essentially, it's
kinda.
It's like college for Hogwarts.
Okay.
Yeah, because everybody there is an adult, and at this point, they're fascinated by the world and trying to explain, see all these different places. And the first season follows the characters trying to get to Fillory. And then from there, the whole show just goes off the rails, and it's amazing. Because everything that they do, they tackle different subjects from like rape to suicide to all of these different hardcore topics from today's society. But they do it in a very realistic, yet somehow they intertwine magic in there that makes it's all just seamless. So every character is just like you or me. Every character reacts the same as I think we would react. Like, if someone gets their head chopped off, we're like, oh my god! Like, it's hilarious. And I think, not hilarious, but it's just natural. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they also have very hilarious moments to kind of cut through all the tension and the drama and all the craziness that's going on. It's just a very fascinating and well done show. Like, last season, they had an episode where, their whole journey was to find these magical keys that would start magic back up again. Okay. Well, to get one of those keys, two main characters, had to live out their entire life and die. And at the end of the episode, they remembered everything that they went through. And that's very different. Because most shows, you live through your entire life, you die, you wake back up, you're rejuvenated, and you're like, it was a dream, it never happened. What was this?
Did they have to like fast track through their lives, or they like they just said, okay, these two people, you're just living the rest of your life?
No, it was one episode, and so they kind of fast tracked through it a little. They fast tracked through it. Okay. So there were different moments, like this guy got married, he had kids, but at the same time, the other guy was gay, but he and this other guy still kind of got together from time to time. They were inseparable their entire life, trying to solve this one puzzle that took them like the entirety of their lifetime. They solve the puzzle. They wake back up. They are alive again. They have their youth. Everything's back, but they also have their memory of everything that they went through. So they still have that inseparable bond that they love each other, because they went through something that no other people could understand. So it's just deep. Right. It's fascinating.
And this was in season 3, or
that was season 3. That was season 3.
Okay,
yeah.
Not the first episode of the season.
No.
Okay, all right.
But it's just really good. I think you'll love it. I think everybody who watches it will love it. If you watch it and you're a big fan, tell us what you like about it in the comment section below. If you don't, tell us why you don't like it. Maybe give it another shot. I don't know. But I'm excited that Sci-Fi Channel decided that they're going to bring it back for a 5th season. This is one of those shows that I'm like never end. So good.
The one show on Sci-Fi that I do watch, Z Nation. Yeah. I watched I kind of watched when it hits Netflix now. Yeah. I just go through the whole season. I watched the last season, which I think season 5 or whatever, after the whole Black Rainbow thing. Yeah. I honestly didn't know what the hell I was watching. That show has changed so much. What the F is going on in this show? Are we even dealing with zombies anymore?
No.
What the hell is going on?
It's the same thing like Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Walking Dead, it's like, the villain is a human.
Well, the thing is, The Walking Dead it's more about the people than the actual zombies. Mm-hmm. The Walking Dead is supposed to be the people, not the zombies.
But the first season, very much so about the zombies.
Very much about the zombies. Yeah. That was a big problem. So, yeah. Okay, so Magicians, they're already renewed, which is, if a channel or whatever has a good show, they do that, like Will and Grace. Before this new season came up, it had been renewed for seasons 2 and 3.
Yeah. So I think also NBC just loved Will and Grace for so long, and it's their political outlet.
Yeah,
show.
But it's kind of a testament that they have real faith in this show.
They do.
And I've honestly got to check out the Magicians.
You do, and you can.
I haven't heard anything bad about it.
You can binge watch it all on Netflix. The new season just started up, so obviously you wouldn't be able to watch that until it came out on Netflix. But seasons 1 through 3 are all on there. It's really good. Enjoy it. Watch it. It's not a fast binge because every episode is about 40 to 50 minutes. But I think you're just going to appreciate how realistic, natural it is in a very magical environment.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Matt.
No problem.
And hopefully BC has sent us a video, and you're going to check that out right now.
No, dude.
Rob, Matt, what's going on, man? As you can tell, I'm once again not in Dallas. You guys are filming, so I'm again going to apologize for this video not being all edited up and looking pretty and stuff. But I am in Philadelphia. And you can't tell by all the people standing and running behind me, I am standing on the steps, the famous Rocky steps. I was going to do this down there by the statue, but there's a lot of people taking pictures. Didn't want to bother them. But, yeah, man, out here at the steps, and I figured, hey, no better time than right here in Philadelphia. Then to talk about my top 5 mark out moments. Now, these are going to be really quick. We're going to try and get through them. I'm trying to get through them through memory. Number 5 goes to The Flash. And it's not actually a moment. It's really just the title of the most recent episode, man. The Flash and the Furious. Now, that's punny. That's punny, man. I really enjoyed it. It was a good episode. I liked the villain who turned a car, I don't know, but she could drive, and every car she got in would, whenever the Flash would touch it, it would mess him up and stuff like that. It was really cool, but really, it really was the title that I love so much about that. That's just an incredible, damn smart title. So, all right, next up, number 4, I'm talking about The Punisher. Now, I'm only 5 episodes in, but I am loving this season. I love the first season a lot too, but I think this is a much better season. It's much more Punisher-y, if that makes more sense. He's very violent and a lot more action in this, and that's what I'm really enjoying. I'm really liking that. I want more and more of the Punisher action. I love the new cast members. I think they're all really fun. I am missing Micro. I don't know if he's going to show up later in the season, but so far I haven't seen Micro. I would really like to see more of him. He didn't die in the first season, did he? I don't think he did. I think he went back to his family, but I'm not positive. I gotta rewatch the first season. Turk showed up. Love when I get to see Turk. Turk is great, and I'm dreading the inevitable announcement that Punisher has been canceled, which will happen fairly soon. All right, next up, number 3. All right, we're going to go to Gotham, man. I am loving this season of Gotham, guys. Most notably, Catwoman. She is the best thing about it. Cameron Bakadova, I can't pronounce her name. I would have looked it up, but I'm having to record this without anything to look up and do it all from memory. But she is a splitting image of Michelle Pfeiffer, like as a young Michelle Pfeiffer, 18, 19-year-old, but she's so good, dude. And now she's gone full Catwoman, thanks to some kind of something that Ivy gave Bruce. We're going full Catwoman with her, and it's on point. She is legit, and her and Bruce are starting to have a little bit of an issue, man. They're starting to see that Batman Catwoman relationship, not just the loving relationship. So that's what I'm really enjoying too. All right, number 2. What was my number 2 spot? I know what the number 1 is. Oh yeah, number 2. Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Andrade Cien Almas. Now they've had 3 matches over the last 3 weeks, and they've been absolutely incredible. Every single one of them. These guys are killing it, man. Especially that 2 out of 3 falls match just last week on SmackDown. These guys went to town. They showed off. Rey still got it, man. He can still go with the best of them because Andrade is incredible. And for him to be able to get in there with Rey and really tear down the house was an absolute star to see, man. Love that. All right, that number 1 spot, what is it? It is going to the Gifted. That's right. Heel Lauren. Yeah, bro. Absolutely love Lauren getting all violent and vicious and angry and That was incredible. I almost, as much as I love seeing her as the good guy and knowing she is the good guy, I kind of want to see her be the bad guy. Because, man, that was good. Natalie Allen Lynn is just a star, bro. Anyway, those are my top 5 mark-out moments, guys. I hope you guys are all enjoying Channel Control. Everyone's having a good show out there. Hope you guys talk everything, get everything out. Mad respect to everybody. Hey, don't forget to hit me up on all social media at RealJackSBC, RealJackSBC. I'm going to try and get out of the city without getting stabbed. Go Cowboys.
Okay, so now let's move into channel surfing. All right, Matt. What show did you watch that you really like, or maybe you hated? Let's talk about shows we watched that we hated this week.
Oh my gosh, what is a show?
Was there a bad show that you watched?
Oh, this puts me on the spot. Almost like you should have told me before we talked about this today.
Yeah, no. Why would I?
What is a show that I hated this week? Oh my god.
Well,
I'm trying to think.
The one show that I was not too crazy about was the second half of The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
I was going to talk about that today. So let's talk about it.
All right, let's talk about that.
Unbreakable.
I was not happy with it, but I wasn't happy with the first half of the season.
Right, yeah. This is the final season of Kimmy Schmidt. I think the problem with this show, this season, I should say, is the fact that they split it up into 2 halves. And they also, in each half, they went over something that was just completely a complete departure that kind of made no sense and was unnecessary for them to even do. Mm-hmm. I think the first half, the big thing there was they had the that DJ documentary, which I think was a complete unnecessary thing to do. You didn't have to do it, and you could have still created another episode that followed Kimmy in her pursuit to ultimately change the lives of the whole world, which is ultimately what she ends up doing.
No.
This half of the season was what if episode.
It's a what if, yeah. What if Kimmy never got into the truck with this guy?
And I didn't hate it. I really did. It was an hour long though, which was really weird. I was like, this is normally a 30-minute long show. This is an hour long. What are we doing here? I didn't hate it because they covered a lot of real life true stuff. Like the Church of Cosmetology was the Church of Scientology. A lot of different things in the What Ifs episode, and you got to see the woman who plays Kimmy Schmidt have show a bit more range.
Yeah, she played a completely different character.
Yeah. And then you got to see the 2 gay characters, being Jack Straight Man and the other guy. They were having to not be who they are and have these beards, and Kimmy and Jacqueline. And that was really funny to see too. It's yes, I loved all the sex. The sex with you was great and very natural. And then even the landlord, how she became a crime boss,
a freaking drug dealer.
Yeah, I loved her. I thought she was great. So I think the whole thing was good. It's just it was a departure, and it was one of those that didn't necessarily push the story anymore. Mm-hmm. I guess it was just kind of there. But I thought as a season it wasn't bad, and I actually really like how they wrapped everything up.
I mean, they had a good wrap up for everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you end with everyone being happy.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a happy ending, which is...
I did have one thing, but yes, go ahead.
Decent for a TV series where it's well, you don't know how this is going to end. What happens to this person? No, they pretty much tell you, Kimmy gets her fantasy whatever thing, and she's making children happy.
Yeah,
Titus gets the guy that she wants.
She has a children's book that is supposed to make men better. Mm-hmm. And to make them understand how they are being wrong in this world, and it actually is helping people. I just like how she was that stupid thing where you put the book up there to buy it, isn't working, and then they're like, you mean a website? Oh my god, you never should have worked at this this tech place. So yeah, I like that. I like that they gave her that purpose, and you finally see, because we've talked about Kimmy Schmidt, we've talked about how every season is a stage of her, I guess, what's the word? her continued acceptance of what happened to her and her therapy. Like every season's like a therapeutic, session for her. And you see finally whenever she gets to the end and she's opened up this like world at Universal Park, that she has finally accepted like what happened to her, because now she's helping other people become better.
That's her healing part.
Yeah.
This whole season was her healing.
Yes.
I think the season before was her anger about the whole thing.
Yes.
Other two, not too sure. Well, the first one was just her getting out.
Right.
So, yeah. Okay.
For Titus, I loved how he ended off. He's finally made it to Broadway thanks to like him just running up on stage on Cats, which is like Cats is actually not a musical. It's just people run up there and just sing nonsense. And then ultimately getting his big break on The Lion King, and then getting his the man he's always wanted to be with the whole time. So I like how that ended. Jacqueline, I'm trying to remember how she ended. I can't. Oh, she ended up with Zachary Quinto, which was cool. The only Zachary, that was great. That was hilarious. Like, oh yeah, I use echo sound. But the one thing though that I thought was odd was that, and maybe this was in the first half of the season, was that there wasn't really a resolution to John Hamm's character, the Reverend.
We really don't need one. He's in prison. That's it. You're in prison. So.
Well, they kept bringing him back, for the whole wanting to get married thing, and there was, I don't think she ever filed for divorce, if I'm not mistaken.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
I don't think she did.
I don't think she did. I think she stayed on with the whole thing, so he couldn't be happy. But I don't know. Maybe that could have been part of her healing process, is just being like, screw it, whatever, like or some sort of like thing to him, like some sort of speech to him that was just like, look, you are no longer part of my life. I don't care about you. Blah blah blah. You are where you belong. Something like that. I don't know. That would be my only critique. I liked how it ended. I thought it ended in a very nice way. I just think that it should have ended last year. Yeah. Like, there was no reason to prolong it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it was a horrible series. It was not.
Yeah.
It did start to kind of get long in the tooth after season 3.
Agreed.
And by season 4, it was like, okay, this is the last season? Yeah, good, because it shows.
Well, honestly, after season 1, like, the show wasn't nearly as good. Like, season 1 was the best that show ever was. But by the time season 4, it got long in the tooth, like you're saying. It just, again, it goes into, I think they tried to get too cute with it. With these, like, specialty novelty episodes that just didn't need to be there.
It didn't work, yeah.
Yeah. But outside, like, honestly, I think that's what killed it for me when I first watched the first half of it. Like, when we got to that DJ one, I was just like, what? Ugh, okay, whatever. Yeah. I didn't even pay attention because, like, you can go back and you watch it, there's nothing there. It is, like, your quintessential filler episode. Like, the only thing that ties into it is that there's a DJ later on, or in, like, the next episode or something like that. It's just like, hey, you were that girl that's, like, trapping DJ Slizzard. And then even the whole men's, like, empowerment movement thing, like, I think that only served to give Bobby Moynihan a moment to, like, redeem himself and become a better person thanks to Kimmy's book. Yeah. Like, that's the only thing it was. So I think those little storylines just didn't really fit in this whole thing.
Yeah, it was just a mash of just throwing things in there.
I think it's because it was the last season.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, we have all these storylines that we want to get to. How are we going to fit it all out? Just throw it there. Yeah.
I mean, it has its moments. I'm not going to say that it wasn't fun or anything. It has its moments, and it ended great. Yes. I love the ending of it. How it's just everything kind of gets summed up for everybody. Everyone goes on with their lives.
Yeah.
But getting there was just.
Lillian's about to get like blown up in her freaking apartment.
Yeah.
And like they blow up the apartment. And she walks out. She's like, "How am I alive?" Oh, that was hilarious. Lillian's ending was a little odd to me too. I don't really think
She became the voice of New York City and just yelled at people.
Yeah, I wasn't into that one. That one just seemed like you had this idea for Titus. It worked. It was a great one. You had this idea for Jacqueline. Cool, we're good. You had this idea for Kimmy. Fine, we're good. We're all good. So after those three, it's like, oh well, what are we gonna do with Lillian? I don't know.
She likes to complain. Just let her complain about New York City. Just let
her do that. I guess that makes sense. I also would have liked to see what happened to Zan, because I actually like Zan.
I like Zan too, but it seemed like when she popped up in this second half, I was like, wait, where the hell has she been?
Yeah,
it's like it's like I can't remember seeing her in the last like 2 seasons.
Right, and I would have liked to have seen because we did the whole 4 years later thing. It would have been cool to see what Zan's doing 4 years after she's left Columbia. Yeah, maybe that's a spinoff one day. I don't know. Probably not. But I think that would have been a cool thing for us to know too, because maybe, Zan wasn't the best at characters, but she was an important character in the first season. And I really liked her, and I actually kind of missed her throughout the rest of the whole series.
Yeah.
When they didn't really have her much.
Zan Dippy. Okay.
I love that too. Whenever she's talking about how oh yeah, you're like Xanformod, blah blah blah, and in my book. Also, I don't know how to spell your name. Love that line. Thought that was great.
All right. Do you have any other shows? That was my only one.
Kimmy Schmidt was out, and we already talked about Magicians. And I think that was it. I thought Orville was good. This app. I think we do need to talk about.
I didn't even watch it.
You didn't watch it?
No, because we were doing the show that night.
I watched.
Oh, also, my internet was out.
Oh, that's horrible.
So yeah, doorbell kept ringing every half an hour.
That's right. I saw your tweet or something the whole house went crazy.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. You know how when a smart home loses the internet, it gets real fucking stupid.
Yeah, I believe it. So the Orville was good. It talked a lot. It was weird about. It was a lot about discrimination. That was the theme of this episode, and this planet had a strange reason for discriminating against certain people. And I'll let you watch it later. I won't explain too much. But
was it kind of like the Charlie X episode in Star Trek, the original series?
Maybe.
Where it was people are black on one side and white on the other, and if you're flipped around, you're discriminated against because you're considered weird. It seems like a disability.
No, I mean it's similar, but there's a different thing.
All right,
there's a hierarchy status, and it's based off of something completely random.
Okay.
But anyway, so the main topic that I wanted to talk about though with the Orville was that they introduced the new chief of security, and she is a Chilean.
Mm-hmm. You knew that?
I actually liked her a lot.
More than Alara?
Yeah. She actually looked like she belonged in that role. And, her mannerisms, her attitude, everything about her. They talked about it at the end where they were you did all of these things. You had big shoes to fill, and you filled them and then some. You were, fantastic. You're incredible. Welcome to our ship. And everything that they said, I was like, yeah, I agree.
No, when you say, she fills a role, is she, does she look imposing, or is it just, or just things she does?
Both.
Because the whole thing about Alara was, you're looking at this little girl who's just completely, you're like, oh, she's just a small human alien child, whatever, but she'll break your neck.
But Alara was also self-conscious. This security woman is confident in herself.
She knows her. Okay.
She knows who she is. She knows what her role is. They even explain in the beginning why she assaulted her captain, her previous captain, and she had a very valid reason for doing it.
Wow. Okay.
So the whole thing was just great, and I loved her performance. I thought she might have been the MVP of this episode, really, and I think that really was, I guess, part of why they introduced her for this episode was so that way they knew all right, we had to, Sage is gone. We have to bring in someone that is going to we have to, when we bring this new person in, we have to give her a reason for the fandom to like her. I really liked her. I thought she was really good. No offense to Sage. I think her character was great. I thought Alara was a great character. But I think I'm actually going to like this new one a little bit more just because she is everything you want out of a security officer.
Okay, so this character came in and stepped up.
Yeah,
hardcore. As soon
hardcore.
as she walked in. All right.
Hardcore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then that means we're going to have to end this show right now because I have to go watch the Orville.
That's right.
So, thanks for joining us today. This has been Channel Control. I'm Rob again. You're watching Channel Control TV. That's on YouTube. Channel Control TV Instagram. Channel Control on Twitter. Send us your messages.
That's right. And guys, if you like this video, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share it around with your friends, tell everybody about Channel Control, and join the conversation by commenting us on the comment section or tweeting us at Channel Control on Twitter. You can also check out or comment on Instagram, Channel Control TV. The big thing that we want you guys to do is tell us what you want us to watch. What shows should we talk about for you guys? And we really want to bring up whatever your thoughts are on television. And if you've got a show that we never talk about that we really need to, that's what we need to hear. We need to know. We need to know. Our eyes need that viewing pleasure, all right? So, guys, check that out. And don't forget to check out Cinelinx.com. You can find me on all social media at Move the Joystick. Kenny Omega's going to win the Royal Rumble. And Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out on Tuesday. And I hate the fact that it was being the sponsorship on NXT TakeOver because I'm watching it the whole time. And I'm like, I don't have it. Shut up, NXT TakeOver. This is a great show. But it was only 2.5 hours long, so that was good.